Hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So today in this video, let's try to understand the importance of trines in Vedic Astrology and how to use the planetary placements in the trine houses from the predictive side. Now, these are the predictions which are applicable to every aspect of your life. If you want to understand your married life aspect in more detail, even if you want to understand your career and business in more detail, even if you want to study wealth yogas or Lakshmi yogas in your horoscope, still this video is going to be very useful. Even if you want to understand the spiritual yogas in Vedic Astrology, so this video is going to be very helpful. And you must need to have some basic knowledge of Vedic Astrology in order to understand the concept which I'm going to teach you today. And this is just the video for learning purpose, and this is a part of predictive astrology. And as I promised, I'm going to definitely make more videos upon the predictive astrology. So it become very easy for all the new astrologers that are coming to understand Vedic astrology in the more deeper manner. I've already created one video on the importance of trines actually. I will link that part in the description section below. You can watch that video after this video. But you can see here, now this is first house and this is the fifth house and that is the ninth house. Okay. First house, fifth house and ninth house. Now, this is the first trine. This is known as fire trine. I mentioned fire up there. So, the first part I'm going to discuss fire. Secondly, I'm going to cover earth. Then we will go towards the air and water trines also. For example, in your horoscope, there are certain number of planets that are posited in the fire trines. First house, fifth house and ninth house. For example, Saturn is present up there. Rahu is up there and Venus is in this house. Now, rather than trying to study the result of Saturn placement in the first house, Rahu placement in the fifth house and the Venus placement in the fifth house, you need to combine all these three planets. Okay. So here you need to combine Saturn, Rahu and Venus. Then you need to study the results. Now, how you need to study the result? First of all, the Venus is getting conjunct with Saturn here. Now, it's not the conjunction which you can see like by the planet sitting in one single house. No, that is a different part. There is no any mutual aspect also. I'm not talking about the mutual aspect also. I'm talking about planets itself posited in the trines, and they are actually going to create certain force towards the other planets that are also sitting in the trine houses. You can consider this thing as this is the triangle, and the planets that are posited in this triangle, they are connected with one another. And they are connected in such a way, they are going to create certain force or certain energy, or they are going to exert some sort of energy in each other houses or these planets. You need to combine them and study them as a whole entity. Don't try to study it as a singular entity, because they are actually going to behave in such a way like they are going to exert certain energy or certain force up there. Now, Venus is the representation of relationships and marriage. So, Venus and Rahu are conjunct up there. I told you, you need to treat them as a conjunction, and Saturn is also up there. So, first of all, this is going to create a delay in marriage. Now, although here we are not looking into the seventh house, this is the seventh house and this is actually the house of marriage, but we are not giving the predictions based over the seventh house. We are just taking trines into consideration and then you are making it in the predictive side. So the planets in the trine houses, they are first of all combined with one another. You need to understand this concept. They are going to exert some energy or some force over one another. Now, if Venus is getting impacted by Saturn, delay in marriage, because Saturn represents delay. Mature life partner you are going to get into your life. Now Rahu also represents marrying outside of your caste, creed and cultural background, or some sort of a different community, foreign marriage. So these events are closely connected in your chart if these combinations are present up there. In the similar manner, apart from the marriage part, this combination of Saturn and Venus and Rahu is also creating a wealth yoga. Wealth means the money giving yoga. It means the planets that are actually posited in the trine houses, they have the capacity to give you money and wealth slowly over the passage of time. Now these are the houses, 5th house and particularly the 9th house. The planets which are posited in the 5th house and in the 9th house, these houses have the capacity to give you results, irrespective of whether you have exerted energy in that particular area or not. This is known as yoga or known as Raj Yoga in Vedic astrology. Raj Yoga simply means some auspiciousness or some auspicious factor is actually present up there that have the capacity to bring certain results into your life. You can also flip the planets actually. It's not necessary, it's only Saturn, Rahu and Venus. Let me take the second example and we are going to discuss the earth element up there, and then we will actually try to understand these things in more detail. Now for example, planet Moon is posited up there. Jupiter is present in this house, and maybe for example Ketu. Now I've written Ketu in Hindi because I usually draw charts using this thing. So suppose Ketu, and that is retrograde. Now for example, you are having Moon in the 2nd house, Jupiter in the 6th house and Ketu is in the 10th house. Now don't study these things on independent manner. I will also tell you one very important thing here. Vedic astrology works as a whole system. It's a combined or it's a cumulative thing. The 12 houses of Vedic astrology, they are actually connected with some other house, okay? It's not possible for you to separate one house from the 2nd house or from the previous house. They are interdependent over one another. This interdependability concept is also further recognized into the form of Bhavat Bhavam actually. I know many of you are not familiar with Bhavat Bhavam. Very soon I'm going to make video over that part also. But the house to house concept is very important for you to learn in order to make some sort of a precise predictions into your life. Now for example, you want to judge the wealth of this native, or you want to judge the career of this native. Now 10th house is the house of career actually. Now Ketu is present up there. So what you are going to say if Ketu is in the 10th house? Like this is going to create a splitting career pattern. For example, there is a 40 years complete span of a person. So it means if Ketu is in the 10th house, it's naturally you are going to go through multiple set of experiences. Maybe for 2-3 years you are in that career, next 4-5 years you are doing something else, okay? But along with that splitting career pattern, you will see Moon and Jupiter, they are also exerting the force over this Ketu. It means this person is first of all very spiritual in nature. Moon and Jupiter conjunction is also known as Gaj Kesari Yoga in Vedic astrology. So there is going to be a slight level of positivity, optimism that is going to be present inside this person. Moon is also the planet that represents the pleasures actually, and Jupiter is a very philosophical kind of a planet. So you can easily make the predictions of the philosophical nature and each and everything. Apart from this, suppose you want to study the wealth aspect of this native now. Now 2nd house is the house of wealth. 11th house is also important. We will cover this part later. 12th house is important, but suppose 2nd house is the actual wealth of a native. Now Moon is present up there. Now if Jupiter is in the 6th house, Jupiter represents the expansion and growth. So Moon is directly exchanging or gaining energy from this Jupiter. Now here they are not actually conjunct in one single house. Jupiter is not up there. It's not two planetary conjunction. You are not going to read it in that way. Although in order for you to easily understand, I'm teaching you this concept from the conjunction perspective, but it's not actually conjunction. It's a dependability of one house over the other house. So here this is Moon, Jupiter and Ketu combined together. Now, whatever the results of Moon, Jupiter and Ketu, that is applicable for this person. And you will see that spiritual belief system, philosophical approach towards life, that is actually going to be present inside this person. Even Moon, Jupiter, Ketu have the capacity to take him into the field of Vedic Astrology, numerology, palmistry, occult sciences. So the person is having a natural inclination into all that areas. Okay. So I hope you understand fire and earth. The main difference between the fire and earth is only that if the planets are posited in 1st, 5th and 9th house, it means because of some other person efforts you are going to gain the results. Like suppose you are married to a very wealthy spouse or life partner. So you are actually gaining money because of your spouse or life partner. So why this is happening? It means some yoga is in your trine houses. If the wealth is coming without much efforts, you will see some yoga is going to be there in the trines. Without the yoga in the trines, money and wealth will not flow easily towards you. So this is fire. Now in the earth part, if for example the planets are posited in 2nd, 6th and 10th, maybe for example there is no planet present in the 6th house, so you can here treat Moon and Ketu as a conjunction, okay, if there is no planet is in these houses, because in many cases there are not going to be either planets in these houses. So it means these houses are empty, so there is no any conjunction applicable up there. Now fire, you understand, wealth yogas are created by fire, where you are not exerting effort but you are receiving or gaining the results. When it comes to the fire part, it represents certain emotional setback or emotional turmoil that is going to be happening in your life, and that is where this is acting as a force inside you to prove yourself in front of the society. Or here you are going to exert most of your efforts in that direction where the results are coming. So you see the fire trines are giving results based over other people's efforts, and the earth trines are giving results based over your efforts. And based over your efforts because of certain emotional turmoil, some setback that have happened, and that part build up some sort of a trauma inside you, and because of that energy created by that particular event in your life, now you are more focused towards gaining the money and wealth part. So in this way you can study. Next, let me come to air. Now you see here, this is the Gemini, this is actually the 3rd house, okay. This is Libra, 7th house, because 7th house is already going to have the energy of Libra. This is a Kalpursh Kundli. It doesn't matter what zodiac sign, what ascendant you are in, it doesn't matter, okay, because the energy of Libra is there in the 7th house, and this is the Aquarius, 11th. Now for example, there are planets posited up there. Now let me take some different example. Suppose Mercury is up there in the sign of Gemini. Sun is present up there. Okay. And let me take Venus up there. Now this is interesting actually. Mercury, Sun and Venus. Suppose they are posited in these 3 houses. Now this is also, you need to treat it as a whole entity. It's not separated. Because I told you they are going to exert some sort of energy. So here this is Sun, Mercury and Venus conjunction. Now for example, suppose you want to give predictions based over by just looking into these three things. Now Venus is the planet which represents again love life and relationship. If that is in getting conjunct with Sun, it means this will create evaporation in the relationship aspect. It becomes very difficult for this person to express or share their deep emotions of love, care, affection and support in front of other person, because Sun is burning the Venus up there. Although they are not posited in one house, it's not Sun and Venus, but still Sun is going to exert energy over this Venus. Similarly, Venus and Mercury, they are also going to exchange energy. So they are also creating a bond up there. Now Venus and Mercury is a very creative thinker, very good combination to go into share market, stock market, This person have the capacity to earn money through speculation, speculative gains. Multiple income sources are also going to be present up there. Very good in expressing when it comes to the professional side, not into the love side. Because in the relationship side, Venus is getting burnt because of Sun. But when it comes to professional side, Sun is giving the enhancing power to this particular individual. And this is the air. Now in the air trine specifically, or in the air zodiac sign, for example, the planets are present up there. Now whenever the planets are posited in the air, with the help of communication, you are going to generate the wealth. Communication as in like I'm doing right now. I'm communicating or maybe teaching something. Secondly, import and import related, export related businesses are going to help you to make money. Constant movement will also going to help you to make money. Sales, marketing aspect, you have the capacity to make money out of these areas. And even when the planets are in the air, they are going to behave like a fire. Okay. So fire and air, I told you, in the fire, you are receiving results because of other people's effort. Your husband is working hard and husband is working towards his aims, ambitions, working towards acquiring some financial stability. Suppose you are a wife, so you are going to gain something because of your husband. Similarly with air signs also. Air also represents where the exertion is going to be bit less. You need to exert a very little energy. Now, apart from the husband-wife relationship, actually, suppose let me take the example of a business partners. There are 2, 3, 4 multiple business partners. They are doing some business. Now, suppose you are that person who is having the planets in the air. Okay, air trines are very powerful. If, for example, in your chart, it means you are naturally going to attract that kind of a partners who are going to work on behalf of you towards making huge profits, and you are also going to be receiving the benefit because of that particular thing into your life. So in this way, air and fire have the capacity to exhibit the similar kind of a behavior. Although I will not go into much detail regarding what are the behavioral differences created by these planets, otherwise this video become much longer. But my main part is at least you will learn the concept, what I'm trying to teach here. Okay. Similarly with the water also. Suppose there are planets posited in this house and this house and in this house. Now for example, Jupiter is present in your 4th house. Saturn is posited in your 8th house. And maybe Rahu. And let me take the example of some also. Suppose Venus is also with Rahu. For example, planets are in this domain. In your 4th house, in your 8th house, and in this 12th house. Suppose more planets are up there. So it means Jupiter and Saturn, first of all, they are going to exchange the energies with one another. Now, first of all, this person is naturally going to be a very mature person, extremely mature. Suppose you are studying the chart of a person who is having Jupiter and Saturn. It represents high level of maturity. Suppose this person right now is around 20 years of age. So when you meet with this person will exhibit the quality of a 30 or maybe 35-year-old personality, because mental maturity is going to be bit high inside this person. Similarly, Saturn, Venus and Rahu, they are also exerting energy over one another. Now here Jupiter, Venus, Rahu is also exerting energy over one another. Now first of all, Jupiter, Venus, if this is conjunct along with Rahu, this is also a very good wealth yoga, wealth giving combination. You can treat this part also as a wealth giving combination. Because I told you Jupiter work is to amplify something. So Jupiter is here acting as an amplification factor in the Venus and the Rahu also. In the similar manner, if you want to go much deeper into the predictions in this way, now 12th house is the foreign land, foreign country. Any sort of interactions with foreign and foreigners are going to be very helpful. Jupiter represents some sort of advisory, consulting related activities. So if this person want to go into consulting activities related to foreigners and foreign people, this will eventually help this person to gain a lot of money. Similarly, Saturn, Venus, Rahu, Jupiter. So this is a one thing. It's not separated. This is water, and water will also going to behave like earth actually. In the water and earth, some setback is there, some emotional turmoil is there, and that is somewhat becoming as a motivational force behind you. So you are exerting energy and then you are working hard towards acquiring something. Whereas fire and air, no need for you to exert more pressure. Things are there present in your life. You need to just patiently wait for receiving that kind of a things. Now, this is the concept which I have bring forward. And I hope you have gained some insights. You can actually apply this to various charts. First of all, start with your Kundli and go to multiple charts and try to apply this concept. But treat the planets in the trines as a conjunction or as a single entity. Don't treat them as a separate thing. They are not separate actually. If you want to study childbirth in your chart, for example, 5th house is the house of children. Now here the 5th house is going to have energy exchange happening with the 9th house and in the 1st house also. So if there are planets up there in the 9th house and in the ascendant, they are going to impact the circumstances of the 5th house. 5th house is your creation, creativity, education also. Education is also getting impacted in this way. Suppose there are few people that come to me like, I'm more of a Aries ascendant, but it's Pisces coming, but I exhibit more characteristics of Aries. Now, why these things are happening? Because of that house to house connectivity, which is happening in your horoscope. And in this way, you can go into the much deeper level predictions in Vedic astrology. This house to house concept is very useful in order for you to apply it from different charts and specifically from the predictive astrology standpoint of view. Now, predictions are going to be based over the transit, Vimshotri Mahadasha and Antardasha of the planets. So, suppose you try to understand through the Antardasha and Mahadasha perspective also, then you can suppose going through Rahu Mahadasha, that is Rahu, and maybe for example in the Rahu you are going through Jupiter or maybe Saturn. So you can relate the events with regards to Rahu along with Saturn also, because Saturn is also there. So suppose you are running through Rahu Dasha, it means you are definitely going to receive the results of Saturn and this 9th house also, because Dasha is also going to exhibit its nature, its character according to this part. In the similar manner, if you want to take it into much advanced level, go into the Bhavachali chart. I will make that separate video over the Bhava chart to how to combine the concept of trines and conjunctions up there. But in the Bhava chart also, where planets are shifting their placements, they are moving from maybe 1 to 3rd house. Suppose some planet in the Bhava chart have shifted from this house to this house. 12th house to ascendant, suppose some shifting is happening. Mercury suppose is coming into that house. Now Mercury is also coming as a conjunction. You need to treat that Mercury up there. In this way you can utilize this concept from the predictive astrology standpoint of view. So this is the analysis from my side. I hope you have gained some deep insights in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations with regards to marriage, career, business consultation, even spiritual consultation, do let me know. I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Till then, feel free to subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button if you really enjoyed this video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. You can send me super thanks also. If you feel like this video has shared or given you enough knowledge, just a small contribution from your side will eventually help me to make more such videos in the coming future. So till then, please take care of yourself and Hare Krishna.